Gene Deal recently dropped another big bomb, this time concerning what Netflix won't let the public view. Gene claims that some stories were so deadly and terrible that they were never included in the 50 Cent's Diddy documentary. Gene is now claiming to know the precise reason.
I told him what we was bringing to the table, who was going to tell the story, how they was going to tell their story. You know, I didn't know exactly what they were going to say, but I knew Tim grew up with Puff, so he can get the childhood thing. So I'm going and telling him the whole angle in which I would like for this to go. You know what I'm saying? What we was bringing to the table. It fell through because the lady was telling me what somebody else didn't give me or what somebody else didn't pay me, and she was being disrespectful, you know what I'm saying?
Everyone anticipated that Gene Deal would take center stage when 50 Cent sold his Diddy biopic to Netflix for millions of dollars. Gene wasn't an ordinary person. During Diddy's heyday as a bad boy, he served as his personal bodyguard. He was present for everything: the conflict between the East and West Coasts, Tupac's shooting night, Biggie's murderous night. Gene was a terrific storyteller. However, Gene was absent from the documentary when it was released. No video, no interviews, nothing. Just that caused others to raise an eyebrow. Simultaneously, a series including never-before-seen footage of Diddy in the days leading up to his arrest was released by Netflix. Private moments, discussions, and behind-the-scenes videos. Diddy even threatened to file a lawsuit over some of the video in the series, which garnered media attention. However, Gene claims that what Netflix presented was not entirely accurate. Not even near.
They showed pictures of different people that was no longer, but they was instrumental in the Bad Boy. They couldn't even tell the real Bad Boy story, how Puff and them got their money, got started and stayed in the game before Clyde Davis. You understand what I'm saying? Because they didn't have the pictures, they didn't have the person to deliver the story. You know what I'm saying? Bad Boy got their start with Corey Jacobs. Corey Jacobs, the dude you see next to Puff before he went to jail the whole 9 yards. Corey Jacobs went to jail for drug distribution and transporting narcotics, and he got 9, 16 to life sentences. You know what I'm saying? So he was pardoned by Obama. His money and Wolf money is the money that started Bad Boy. You know what I'm saying? To keep Big, you know, when he let Big go, when Andre Harrell let Big them go, and Craig Mackman, Puff had to get money to keep them there. You understand what I'm saying? Before he can go make the deal with Clyde Davis. So what he do? He take their money to piece Big them off for some money before he makes his deal. You understand what I'm saying? So they couldn't even tell that story. That's a good story.
At last, Gene gave an explanation for his exclusion from the documentary. He initially collaborated with the team. They were interested in his first-hand accounts, images, and footage. However, after he chatted with Alex Stapleton, the director, everything changed. According to Gene, she told him up front that 50 Cent had no control over the money or what ended up in the final cut. Gene felt disrespected when he learned that they were asking to exploit his material. He claims to have unique film, authentic proof, and tales that no one else could share. They were, in his opinion, exchanging pocket cash for millions of dollars worth of information. Gene then turned to go.
You understand? Because I was talking to the producers, and before I talked to the executive director, and the producers knew, I was telling them what I was bringing to the table. Because I was trying to get a deal for me, Kirk, and Tim all together. Like a package deal. I wanted to try to get like $50,000 for each one of us. You know what I'm saying? So I told them what we was bringing to the table, who was going to tell the story, how they was going to tell their story. You know, I didn't know exactly what they were going to say, but I knew Tim grew up with Puff, so he can get the childhood thing. So I'm going and telling them the whole angle in which I would like for this to go. You know what I'm saying? What we was bringing to the table. I didn't know how they was going to do it, but I was saying, this is what we're going to bring to the table. Tim could start off with the childhood part of it because they grew up together. That's Tim Dog, Tim Patterson. Also, you know, he was the one who was working at Uptown. He was executive over there of A&R and all that other stuff. He went to Island Records. He used to work with over there at Arista, the whole 9 yards. Tim is the one who had the Lost Boys. If you remember the Lost Boys, you know what I'm saying? Tim was the manager of them. That was his group and everything like that. So Tim had a lot of inside and a lot of stuff to do with Puff. I had a lot of other people I could have brought to the table too. Eddie F, who taught Puff how to work the board and everything like that. Just Eddie F, Heavy D, and the boys DJ. I was gonna try to get Eddie and some other people like that. But it fell through because the lady was telling me what somebody else didn't give me or what somebody else didn't pay me, and she was being disrespectful, you know what I'm saying?
However, he now claims that his exclusion was due to more than just money. According to Gene, the documentary also omitted significant bits of facts that may have altered people's perceptions of things. The tale of the alleged East Coast against West Coast war is one of the most notable examples. Gene claims that the entire concept is incorrect. According to him, there was never a conflict between the East and West Coasts. Both sides' artists continued to travel, collaborate, and express affection. Gan claimed that the true battle was between Death Row and Bad Boy, two record labels. Diddy and Suge Knight were in the middle of it.
So you have some people that say that Tupac, he was the one behind the beef between Death Row and Bad Boy. And you got some people that say that, you know, the beef between Death Row and Bad Boy started when Big J got killed. But from your point of view, when did the tension and beef start between Death Row and Bad Boy?
All the tension started between Puff and Suge Knight. You understand? All the tension came from Puff and Suge Knight. Suge wanted Puff to have Big them do a show. Puff wanted to get paid for Big doing the show. But Suge had did a whole lot of shit, free shit for Puff at one time. Because when Puff used to come out to California, before he could afford security, before he could afford it, Suge used to look out for the cat. You understand what I'm saying? So now it became they bullshit. Then when Suge bought Misa out there, you understand? When Suge bought Misa out there and talk about what the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will, then Jake, you know, Jake being killed by Jason. You understand? And they making that bullshit up like Bad Boy had something to do with it. All that shit was over women. And niggas being emotional like women. That's what it was all about. It was over women, Jake disrespecting Jason girl. You understand, wife? Suge disrespecting Misa, Puff's baby mama. And them niggas being emotional like women. A lot of niggas is behind bars based on their emotions. And them niggas is right where they at because of their emotions. People have lost their lives over the way a nigga felt. So, that's what the East Coast, West Coast shit started off.
Additionally, Gene claims that the facts concerning bodyguard Jake Robles' death was omitted from the documentary. He asserts that Mark Curry is aware of the precise culprit and that it was not the guy that many people think. According to Gene, it was a Bronx-based Jamaican man who was subsequently murdered by cops at a club known as Magic City. He claims that information was totally overlooked. Gene claims that Death Row genuinely attempted to make amends, which is even more startling. To resolve the conflicts between Tupac, Biggie, Bad Boy, and Death Row, they sought to arrange a meeting. Gene claims that although they were prepared to defuse the situation, Diddy declined to leave. Neither he nor anyone from Bad Boy would go to the meeting.
It was Bad Boy and it was Death Row. It was no East Coast and no West Coast. West Coast dudes were still coming out on the East Coast getting love. East Coast niggas was still going out on the West Coast getting love. It was Bad Boy versus Death Row. And that's what it was, bro. And it was because of the two CEOs. But Suge tried to straighten it out. I gotta get at the Suge. The Death Row East Coast, the Death Row East was going to bring in Eric B,
It was going to bring in Big D. And those brothers was from the East Coast. So now, they was looking for a representative to come to the meeting from Bad Boy so they could straighten out the shit between Pac and Big and Death Row and Bad Boy. And Puff is the one who refused. Puff is the one to refuse to send a representative or either come himself. And got mad at Zip and them because they were in the Mirage on 57th Street partying with Suge Knight. Got mad at them. And Zip hung up the phone on him behind that.
This, in Gene's opinion, was a turning point. He believed that the violence could have been prevented, but it wasn't. The most incendiary aspect of the story, according to Gene, comes next. He says Diddy did nothing to prevent Tupac's injury at Quad Studios, even though he knew it would happen. Gene claims that a crucial aspect was omitted from the documentary, which discusses the Quad Studios shooting, where Tupac was shot several times in 1994. Jimmy Henchman, Andre Harrell, and Diddy were all in his office on that particular day. Biggie and his group were unaware that Diddy was present.
They talked about the Quad Studio shit, but they didn't mention the fact, and they left it out, that Big and C's did not know that Puff and Andre Harrell was in Jimmy Henchman's office the day Pac got killed. The day Pac got shot at Quad Studio. Let me repeat that again so it don't get mixed up in the whole thing. They did not mention that Andre Harrell and Puff Daddy and Jimmy Henchman were all in the office together. Puff was on the office because he was trying to spy on Big them, because Big was writing the Junior Mafia stuff and Puff had his publishing. I told this to a couple of people before, I said it before, and you got people that's running with it like they knew the story in the whole 9 yards. You understand? They'll lie and you ask them, how do you know that? Who told you? They couldn't even tell you that. They'll tell you some lie, they did some kind of investigation, but it didn't happen like that. You understand? Puff was there to spy on Big because he had owned Big Publishing. And Big had turned around, and the same people who helped Puff get Big Publishing told Big to turn and put Tatiana or put somebody else's name on his publishing, or give it to Lil C's or whoever, this, that, and the third that he wrote for, so he can get the money from it.
Gene says Jimmy Henchman threatened to teach Tupac a lesson about the money he owed while Diddy was present. Tupac had come to the studio to work things out by recording a song, according to Gene, but things got out of hand.
The interim of him being there to spy on Big, Jimmy Henchman told him that they finna teach Pac a lesson, because Pac had owed him some money. So that's why he was up in the studio and was coming to the studio. Pac owed him some money. He was gonna work it off and get some money from doing a song with Lil Sean. And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly. Unless you're 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen to Pac.
He knew Pac was about to deal well, yeah. He was there to see it. He was there to see it. He wasn't only there to see Big them. When Jimmy Henchman told him that, he was there to see what's going to happen to Pac.
According to Gene, the documentary omitted that particular detail entirely. It's interesting to note that he also thinks Tupac's alleged killer, Keef D, will probably get away with it. He's even more concerned that if Kef ever escapes jail, some people would not want him to survive. According to Jean, he might be safer in prison at the moment.
Keef D out of jail. They was trying to get Keef D out of jail to unalive him, or have something to do with him being unalive. That's probably the safest place for him to be, to a certain degree, because it definitely can happen there. depending on where you was being housed at, what ward, and the whole 9 yards. But if something happened to Kiffy D, LA, the Vegas Police Department would be like, yo, our job, we was trying to do our job. We had to kill him for Tupac. We was gonna convict him, but he came up dead. No, that's a cop-out. They have no, what you call that? They have no evidence. They have no evidence to prove that Kiffy D had anything to do with the death of Tupac Shakur.
I don't know, man. I mean, we all seen that video of him crying, man. It looked like he losing hope.
He know that he's in a position and he's in a situation that he was told to make up some lies. He was thought that Vegas would never be the ones who come after them. He made up some lies for cops in California. That's a proven fact. That's a proven fact. FBI agents came out and said he made up lies and he was told a script, given a script and adhered to the script that was given to him. And he said what he was said to get out of another drug charge that could have landed him life in prison.
Gene thinks a number of people should be held responsible for the outcome of this case. According to him, there should be repercussions for anyone who provided the police with false information. In the event that the charges are dropped, he even proposes Kef D file a lawsuit against the Vegas Police Department. According to Gene, there's a good probability the case won't stand up if a court considers the facts objectively. Additionally, Gene brought up some of the most significant facts that were omitted from the documentary, particularly about the death of Wolf, a bodyguard. Gann claims that the narrative that has been circulated for years is false and that Diddy was a key player in the incident.
I was looking at the documentary. Kirk Burroughs, he did confirm that Big, he didn't want to go to LA, and they was actually getting warnings not to go to LA. But, you know, Diddy, he wanted to go, man.
My man, yo, we must have had warnings, man. I didn't know. I knew that we shouldn't be out there in the first place, but it's crazy. Check this out. Wolf had already told, Anthony Wolf Jones had already told them, if you're not taking two tour buses of my niggas from the Valley, that's Co-op City in the Bronx, the Valley in the Bronx, if you're not taking these 2 tour buses of my niggas out there, I'm not going. Had told Puff them, had told Kirk Burroughs. You understand? I went down there and Kirk Burroughs called me up. He's like, yo, Gene, you and Wolf, I got y'all tickets to LA. I said, all right, cool. So I go down there and I pick up the tickets to LA. I got Wolf ticket. So I'm calling Wolf up. I said, yo, Wolf, I got your ticket to go to LA. Wolf said, I ain't going. I said, what you mean you ain't going? He said, yo, Gene, I ain't gonna tell you how I'm making I ain't gonna tell you how to make your money, but I'm gonna let you know this. I told Puff them if they wasn't gonna take 2 tour buses of my niggas out there with us, I'm not going. Wolf is the head of all the functions that has to do with Puff dealing with security.
Gene remembers purchasing airline tickets for Wolf and himself. Wolf declined to go when Gene called to let him know his ticket was ready. Wall informed Gene that he had already cautioned Diddy not to put his life in danger without adequate protection. Wool trusted his gut and thought California was dangerous at the moment. According to Gene, Wolf wasn't staying away from California due to Big Jake's passing. He was trying to avoid it in order to survive.
Anywhere that had to do with California. And it wasn't because of the Jake situation. It was that he wanted to be safe, and the only way he felt safe if he was going out there with the dudes from his clique. And that was the Valley Mob. That's the only way. Wolf ended up losing his life behind Puff and his bullshit. And people They didn't even put that in the documentary. Wolf ended up losing his life behind Puff and his bullshit. And that bullshit was with BMF. That's a big segment in my book that I wrote that whole shit. I wrote a whole big situation in my book regarding that, Mighty. And I know you're doing this. I want to say that right there because I was there the night that Meech had promised Puff, you know what I'm saying? He ain't have to worry about Suge Knight. He ain't have to worry about nobody from this point on. And telling Puff some shit like that made him think that he could talk to Wolf any kind of way. Because if anybody knew, BMF was powerful back then. They had dudes from everywhere. And Meech telling him he ain't have to worry about nobody no more, it made Puff think that he could tell Wolf that he didn't need Wolf no more. And one thing led to the next.
The question of whether the documentary was merely 50 Cent's personal hit job has also received a lot of attention. That notion is vehemently opposed. Long before 50 were involved, the initiative was already underway. He wasn't writing the story or working behind the camera. He had a straightforward role, helped sell it, and by all accounts, he did a great job with that. Attention was assured when he put his name on it.
A lot of stories, there's a lot of things they left out, and it is what it is. But you know, everybody trying to say 50, 50, 50, 50, you know, and they don't understand. They already had the producers. You know, 50 ain't make no shots as far as he ain't holding no camera. He ain't writing no script. They already had plenty of producers to put this together. They just needed to sell it. And who's the best salesman of them all? 50 Cent. You understand? If you see any kind of documentary, any kind of movies that's out there in our culture, if 50 behind it, they gonna buy it. And that's what it was.
The reason 50 Cent doesn't love Diddy can be traced back to his early years. Despite his genuine intelligence and writing ability, doors in New York continued to close on him. Diddy was a member of the group of people who were secretly advising executives not to collaborate with him.
The other people put a tag on him, where is that, yo, don't let him make no money. Don't sign him. You ain't gonna have none but problems. They put a bad tag on him. You understand? He gotta go to the West Coast and with Dre and Eminem to get his deal. You understand what I'm saying? So they put this tag on him to stop him from eating his craft. You understand? They try to kill him, you understand, because they got a problem with him. And then you supposed to have some love, so people who try to take you out of here, try to stop you from eating and everything like that. Diddy was a part of that too. He was a part of that. Because he was telling the executives and people, don't mess with him. Just picture this, bro. He knew he could write. He knew 50 had talent. You understand? Why 50 ain't get a deal in New York City?
Facts, yeah. They had him blackballed,
That's what motivated 50 to choose a different job path. The reason the friction between them persisted is explained by this history. The conflict between Biggie and Tupac is a constant topic of conversation. However, there was something even odd hiding underneath it all. Most people were unaware of the strange bond that existed between Tupac and Diddy. Many individuals at the time thought Diddy was envious of Tupac, not only of his notoriety, but of all that surrounds him. Tupac and Biggie had a close relationship, respect, and attentiveness. And some close to the matter claimed that Diddy was troubled by that.
But they were saying that Diddy was really, really jealous of Biggie and Tupac's relationship.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And Kirk Burroughs, the president of Bad Boy, he knew Puff real well, real well. So he made those accusations, and then you could see it too. You could see like every girl that Pop talked to, Sally Richardson, you know what I'm saying? Diddy got with her. Sarah Chapman, Diddy got with her. You understand? You know, the list goes on and on and on. You understand? If he seen Pac with him, he wanted him. If he saw Pac wear it, he wanted to have it. You understand? Pac beat him out of the part for Bishop and Juice. You understand? Puff wanted that part too. He auditioned for that part too. You understand? People may not tell y'all that, but he auditioned for that part too. So, you know, he wanted, and then you gotta see, like, you could just go tell that the drugs had his mind so messed up, whereas that he started thinking he was Tupac. For instance, did you see that Grammy speech he did?
I mean, I've seen quite a few speeches from Diddy. I don't remember.
Hey, listen to the verbiage in there. He's saying the same stuff Pac was saying.
Oh, wow.
The same,
Okay.
the same. If people go back, he's saying the same stuff with Pac. Why? Why?
The message, the tone, the words. It sounded a lot like Tupac. It resembles a mixture of admiration and bitterness. Additionally, there was an important topic that was completely ignored in the documentary. A celebrity basketball game took place at City College in New York back in 1991. Diddy and Heavy D were pushing it. It was meant to be enjoyable, a large audience, music, and stars. But things weren't right from the beginning. Tickets were sold in excess. There were far more attendees than the building could accommodate. Even with tickets, some children were unable to enter. The crowd outside continued to become denser.
I see that the people was already crowded out there and it was crazy. So I finagled my way in there, me and Slicknam. I said, yo, I told Puff right then and there, I say, Puff, if they don't do a boxing one outside and get these kids off the door, somebody gonna die tonight. He said, Gene, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You just handle the stars once they come inside. So I said, yeah, all right then. So I did a walk around. So I walked around the top of the floor, went down the steps and went in the gym, and then came across the gym, and I seen that you can go up the steps and be right there at the front door. So everybody was coming in. You seen Dougie Fresh, Red Alert, they was on the mic. People started coming in and everything. It was cool. And then when LL Cool J and Mike Tyson showed up, that shit must have went pandemonium. They must have broke through the first doors where the FOIs was and came to the door where we was inside at. And it was a glass door that they were crowded at in the glass door, and people were steady pushing the people through the door, whereas that they pushed the people so hard that
The crowd's pressure was too great. The glass shattered. Individuals tumbled down the steps and forward. They were overtaken by others. There was nowhere to go. People were stuck. During the pandemonium, a pregnant woman fell. Both she and her fetus perished.
the door, the top of the store, we grabbed this girl. You know, she was pregnant. We later found out that was Father MC's baby's mother. And she died that day with her baby inside her. And you could see that she was pregnant. You know what I'm saying? She had to be like 6 or 7 months pregnant. So we grabbed her and helped her up. And then she ended up going downstairs when we had got her out the way. So they got trapped down the stairs. After they broke through the first glass, they got trapped downstairs through the second door because Jessica had got scared. That was Puffy partner at the time, Jessica Rosenberg. She got scared, ran downstairs with the money box and shut the door behind her. And all those people got shut down in there and got trapped.
Right. 9 people died that day. 29 others were injured. And I guess Nice and Smooth's bodyguard was one of the people that got killed.
My man, let me tell you something. That dude was about 6'4". He had a white t-shirt on, I think with khaki pants. I was over there trying to resuscitate him, and I was like, this shit is crazy. So it was just that crazy. That big dude died there too. So you didn't have to be a certain size. He was about 6'4", man.
Yeah, sad. A very sad day to see that much death and destruction right in front of you.
Right.
A court later reviewed all of the events. The responsibility was divided years later. Half went to the school and the other half went to the event organizers. Although no one was imprisoned, the harm had already been done. Diddy lost his job at Uptown Records as a result of this tragedy. He thought his career was over. According to those close to him, he went into a severe despair and was placed on suicide watch since he believed he had lost everything. Many people's lives were permanently altered that night. Furthermore, it was entirely omitted from the documentary, despite being one of the most significant incidents connected to his early career. Why? Why did 50 decide not to share these tales? What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comments section below.